M925A2. Notice it looks a little different? First thing, the tires are much bigger. There's 1600 tires on this one. Gives you more ground clearance, gives you better road speed. Same engine, same transmission, has a bash bar in the front for additional lights and also to protect the grille and radiator. This one also has the winch. It has night vision on the thing. It has a camper. In fact, there's more things on this thing than I can tell you about. This would end up a full-length motion picture if I had to tell you everything on this. So at any rate, what you need to do is look through the post, see all the things it has. Then you can call for questions with intelligent things. I want to know this, I want to know that. Most of the things would be posted as to what it has. So it gives you a good idea as to what to ask for. This vehicle has that camper. Now that camper doesn't look all that impressive. You notice there's screening over the camper, protects from people getting in. Those things fold down in order to a platform so you can stand on it. The camper then goes up toward the rear and up over the cab. It becomes 23 feet inside the camper. 23 feet inside the camper. It has a flat screen TV for the kiddies. You have a microwave, you have an oven, you have a stove, you have a sink, you have a full bathroom, a full bedroom, a full living room. It becomes very comfortable. It's probably everything you have in your own personal home on a smaller scale. But with this one, you can go any place. And once you go to any place, you can be comfortable. You can be protected from the elements. It even has a wood stove application for it, and you'll be barbecued out of there. It can be 15 degrees below zero, and you can still be comfortable inside this thing. Now you tell me another bug-out vehicle that's in this condition. Okay, you can get a Unimug, you can get a Unicat, excellent vehicles, $500,000 to $800,000. This one will go places they will not. You can get a good bug-out vehicle that can take you cross-country, like, say, a bus or a truck and camper, but then you can't really get into rough country. You can't go through the things that this can go through, but you have the same amount of money in it as you do this. You put two and two together, which is the better application to have. This vehicle would do anything. It has solar panels, has everything on it for survival. Now, the way it looks right now, it looks like a cool truck. It looks like it has all the neat things on it, but you still don't see it applied as how it goes. What we're going to do is we're going to set this thing up. We're going to show you spots of how the camper goes up, show you what the inside looks like, show you what the outside looks like, and then you get an idea. It becomes huge once you start to see the thing up, and you can understand why this is such a great vehicle for a bug-out vehicle. You can get any place, you can go any place, and you can survive comfortably. Now, you can go in a tent if you want. I wouldn't go in a tent. I wouldn't go on a bicycle because your family isn't going to survive. You need something to survive with. You need something like this. So anyway, we're going to set this thing up. We'll show you the vignettes of how the thing is set, how the camper goes up, how big it is inside, what kind of things there is, and then you can make your own decision. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this. This is a cargo area. It has not air conditioning. It's just for additional cargo. And I won't tell you what Carlisle puts in there. But anyway, it does have air conditioning, but the air conditioning is actually inside the unit. So it doesn't have anything hanging out to hook on bushes and stuff like that. So let's set up the front end. Oops. My fault. Good. You'll notice this little bumper thing, it extends out. It's for support of the bottom of the unit. Little winch right here, that little winch is made to lift a motorcycle for a hanger off these back bumpers. So if you want a motorcycle, you can have it in the back end. Also to just lift general things if you're working on it and stuff. Kind of a handy little thing to have. There was nothing back here, so a winch is a good idea. Now what we're going to do is deploy this back in. This is all living room area up in here. So watch how easy this thing comes. See, it's matching. It doesn't all by itself. No, actually what it is Carlisle's inside pushing it. And so it will come out and then it'll be set. Got the camper all out. The back end's been deployed. Now if you see Carlisle on the inside, he's going to push this panel out to fulfill this whole bottom end here. This is in effect the bedroom area. The whole bedroom is up here. The living room is in the back. We'll show you the inside so you can get a rough idea of what's going on here. Ask yourself, why am I having this ladder up here? Well, I'll show you why. When the crap hits the fan and you have to bug out, you're always going to have a brother-in-law that's now begging you to take him with you because he was ill-prepared. Or worse yet, even a mother-in-law and such. Well, you're going to have overroom seating and bedding. So we take this thing, and with Carlisle's honors up here, you you have the mother-in-law facilities. This whole thing, incidentally, to do the entire truck and the entire setup, 2 people takes you about as long as setting up a ground tent. Probably in the nature of 15 to 20 minutes. And then you have all these features, more than you do in a tent. So at any rate, kind of give you a rough idea. Now, mother-in-law, or the kids if they're bad, or whoever happens to be with you that you don't want, you can always have them sleep outside up here. My personal thought is, if I had all this, why would I want to be sleeping in a tent? So it's got to be someone you really don't want to have inside with you. Anyway, that adds to your sleeping facility quite a bit. The bed is the same size bed as that one, which is 14 feet by 7.5 feet. The entire bed on this truck is now still cargo. You can carry more of this than about 3 pickup trucks. And that's all underneath the camper, so you can have your food storage, whatever you need for storage. Generally speaking, these things can carry about a year's worth of food supply. For a camper, that's enormous. You have additional fuel tanks. That would give you a fuel range of somewhere in the nature of about 2,000 miles. 2,000 miles. Compare that to your average car. I mean, you can get out of trouble in 2,000 miles. If you can't get out of trouble in 2,000 miles, you've got a whole lot bigger problems to deal with. A bug-out vehicle isn't going to do any good unless you can get out of the way. Okay, you got your high-end snorkel. In fact, take a look at these back tires. You're going to get a laugh out of this. I don't want to tell you they're as big as you can get, but they're as big as you can get. The distance between these 2 tires, I can't get my palm through, and I'm not a very big guy. Look how tight that is between there. You can't get a tire bigger than this. These are great tires. We bought them brand new for this truck. You got your platform here. On the other side, you'll see the platform has solar panels in order to keep all your batteries charged and stuff. The camper you've seen the inside of. Removable boarding ladder makes it much easier to get in and out. A lot of people are a little hesitant to get up on this platform because you can see through the platform with the expanded steel, and a lot of ladies feel initially a little ill at ease. Again, if you put carpeting or something down over the expanded steel and they can't see through the platform, they feel ever more secure. And it makes it look a lot nicer too. Jerry can mounts. This is much like the platform on the side. They're spring counter-loaded. So as you open this thing up, all that weight does not fall on you. You have to actually pull it down even with the weight. They're all countered with springs. So you can get to, these are all set up for water and no fuel. Has additional fuel tanks in the bed. Your winch for whatever little things you need. Personally, we put the thing on primarily for a little motorcycle. Your opposite platform. You have to kind of walk around up here in order to see the solar panels. And you can do the same thing if you wanted to reverse the tent. You can reverse the tent, have the door on this side, and have the boarding ladder to it to get up to the tent. Additional jerry cans. Water cans, fuel cans. This is even a little contamination device because it carries brushes and stuff, cleaning fluids and stuff. So if you got are you ready for this? Radiation, you can scrub your truck down. I mean, really, talk about overkill. They always say overkill, however, is underrated. So a good thing to have. Your door, you notice how low these things sit. I am not very tall from the ground. And your interior, which you've seen, has everything in there you could possibly think of. Probably a few things that you haven't thought of. Muffler assembly, blows it out to the side, doesn't get any stains or something on the camper. The muffler on these things are actually pretty good because you can be driving down the road and still talk to each other. A lot of military vehicles, the exhaust noise on them reaches the threshold of pain. These things are actually comfortable to drive. Your front end latches to hold the front secure. You've seen the bash bar here. That opens the hood, makes it ever so much nicer to open. Under this is a brand new generator, which is a 4,000 generator. So if the solar panels didn't keep up or you needed to run something else, you got the generator to do that. It would charge your batteries, it would charge whatever you need, produce the power you need. It has an electric chainsaw that's on the vehicle. So if you're out in the boondocks and you need to cut up firewood, you can fire this thing up and use the electric chainsaw. Why electric? Electric doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Generator doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Use a conventional gas chainsaw. The bloody things eat fuel like it's going out of style. And number two, everybody within about 6 counties is going to hear you. This thing is quiet. So if you're out in the boondocks and you don't want to stay stealthful, electric chainsaw beats the heck out of a gas chainsaw. Plus you got to carry oil, plus you got to carry fuel, and in a bug out situation, fuel is going to be precious. So you use it as sparingly as you can. When you're running the generator, let's say for the chainsaw, at the same time you'll be charging batteries and everything else. So what fuel you're using, you're getting efficiency from. You can see underneath here that skid plate that I was talking about, underneath that front end. I hope you can see it with the camera. It's in the shadows, so it's a little hard to see. You got additional lights. Center there is a speaker for a PA system in case you got to yell at somebody in a Prius to get out of your way before you get them stuck in your tires like a rock. So anyway, you got a PA system you can yell, plus the CB radio. Right now he has a pump. I don't think the pump's going to come with the truck. This is an additional fuel pump. Things cost a fortune. And it will pump, gosh, I forgot what it is, like 75 gallons of fuel a minute. So if you had a cannibalized fuel, nice to have, because it doesn't take long to get a whole lot. At any rate, that's kind of a synopsis of the whole thing. By the way, it also does have standard on the truck. It has an air compressor on the thing, so you have stored air. So if you fill up the tires, you have a compressor on the thing. It also has, I don't think it's hooked up right now because personally I don't like them, but the mechanism here is called a CTIS. Means Central Tire Inflation System. You can be driving down the road, push a button, and lets the air out of the tires. So if you're on asphalt and you're going to get into snow, you can let the air out of the tires. They soften up so you can go through mud and snow like that. When you come back to the asphalt, you push another button, it pumps them all back up. The early trucks like this is 1991, 1990, what is it, Carlisle? 89, I'm sorry, I lost by a year. So it's a 1989. The CTIS on the early ones worked really good, but they weren't dependable for a long period of time. Most people that have these trucks disarm the system because if the vehicle is parked without being attended, the tire can go flat if it fails, and that can ruin your tire. So most people disarm the systems and they use a conventional air hose, which you carry on the truck, and you can air them up at any time. That way you can maintain the thing, and for safety purposes, this is a lot better. But the facility is there if you wanted to rehook the thing up. CTIS is there. The standard thing came with all the trucks. Kind of cool to have, but like I say, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of it, and a lot of other people who have these trucks also are not a big fan of it. So I thought I'd give you a word to the wise. Other than that, this thing's huge. I can't tell you everything about it, but at least you can get a rough idea of what we're talking about here. This is a lot of truck. It will save your bacon. It will save your family's bacon. You can get out of the area that you need to get out of. You can have all the food you need, all the water you need, and take off in rough country that many other vehicles cannot go through. So not only can you get away from people, you can save yourself while you're there because you have enough facilities for it. Great truck. If you're entertained on something that can save your bacon, give us a call because you really like this one. You got a full bathroom. It's small, but it's a full bathroom. Actually, it's about the size of a small apartment bathroom. But you got a shower, you got a toilet, of course, you got a sink, and you have some privacy, actually with a window too. Pretty good for a bathroom, considering how compact this is. And you're on a truck, remember. And then pan over, and there you go. There's the bedroom, so you can kind of get a rough idea how big the bed is. It's queen size, isn't it, Carla?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a full queen size bed inside here. Should have had those front windows open so you can see a bit better of light, but you can still get a rough idea how big it is. So it's quite comfortable. Also in the living room at the other end, Chris is going to turn around and show Carlisle's smiling face sitting on the Davenport. That also converts into a bedroom. Here we have a complete kitchen area, and then we have a complete living room area with a chair and of course Davenport that can convert into a bed, so you have additional sleeping areas. You got a full stereo, you got a flat screen TV facility. The windows can convert to have a wood stove hooked up to it, so you can really barbecue yourself out of here.